Oh, come on. Come on. Come God, you remember how cool Men in Black was? If YouTube's analytics are correct.
And they better be!
Then about 97% of you are around my age, so we probably all saw it in theaters at that perfect time when CGI was still new and impressive enough that a movie like that was a huge event. Well, apparently there was an animated series that ran from 97 to 01 that
I just had no clue about.
and they made a damn license game about it to boot. You know, I was the dumb kid in class. You can just put a period at the end of that sentence, but this sentence actually does go on longer. I was a dumb kid in class that would always go for the licensed games and never learned his lesson. In grade school, while everyone else was out there buying Ninja Gaiden or something with their Toys R Us gift cards, I was always the one like,
You guys are idiots. I'll be over here enjoying my copy of The Terminator for the NES.
I didn't learn. I never learned. I bought the Independence Day game on PS1 like day fucking one because I was like,
How can they fuck up shooting aliens out of the sky?
spoiler alert.
They fucked that up!
Sometimes I want to travel back in time, not to change history, but just to knock whatever dumb fucking license game I was gleefully carrying to the register out of my hands and scream,
You irredeemable idiot!
You turn around and put that back on the shelf. And also, dude, Stacy isn't going to be interested in it. If you give her that dumb fucking card you made, she's just going to laugh in your face. But don't sweat it. She grows up to be a COVID denier. Actually, I got to explain what COVID is. Okay, well, it turns out the Batcave is an impractical lie. And then, if there was time left, I would kill babies.
Baby Hitler.
What?
It's baby Hitler.
Yeah, him too. Look, the point of this very important story is I have a bad history with licensed games, but this one caught my eye for a few reasons. One, it's a first-person shooter. Two, it was on the shelf when I said I should play a game. So let's take a look at Men in Black Crashdown for the PlayStation 1. First things first, don't ask me about the story, I don't know. COVID lockdown has unloaded a full clip into my attention span. I wasn't paying attention. Men in Black impresses right out of the gate for the simple fact that it doesn't control like a wretched fart. We all know it's a roll of the die with older console FPSs what control scheme the developers thought would be appropriate to control a character in 3D space. And 9 times out of 10, it was usually easier to put the controller up your ass and try to play with your colon, since that was usually simpler and more comfortable than whatever disastrous monstrosity they designed for you out of the box. They give you 4 or 5 options to choose from, but the most important part is they got dual stick controls right. Hell, you even shoot with the right trigger. It plays like a damn competent shooter. They give you a generous auto aim to help iron out the rough edges, which you can turn off if you want to, but hey, they actually did it. The crazy bastards did it. Oh man, I have such a soft spot for the chonky, pixely, warpy textures of the PS1. This bad boy has some of the warpiest and chonkiest, the twerpiest.
Just look at this twerpy boy.
Whoa, twerpy boy.
He's a little twerpy boy, isn't he?
That's a twerpy boy.
He's a twerpy boy.
Dude, that is the twerpiest boy I've ever seen in my life.
Can we stop this now?
Oh God, please, yes.
I could definitely get behind this. It's colorful, unique, and more warped than a QAnoner. I am so glad the nostalgia for this look is starting to come back into focus. I need more games that look like this. I need it. You see, this is what I miss about the PS1, PS2 generation. You can start a shooter off in a fucking funhouse and nobody batted an eye. Why wouldn't you start it off in a funhouse? You'd be stupid to start it anywhere else. Speaking of chonky though, this frame rate could use a few bananas. Okay, I couldn't think of anything good to put there, so I temped in bananas with the intent of changing it before recording this dialogue, but I still couldn't think of anything, so I'm just gonna keep it in for the sake of transparency. Boy, this frame rate could use a few bananas. It goes from steady and smooth sailing to
Where the fuck are my bananas?
at the drop of a hat. It unfortunately doesn't take much to make it tank either. More than one enemy on screen is usually enough to at least make it stutter. This is why that aim assist is so important. Yes, they let you turn it off, but good luck hitting anything when the frame rate decides to banana. Speaking of enemies, there is a lot of variety here. At least, I assume there is. I am writing this script while playing it on a CRT that's sporting
The thickest fucking scan lines the universe has ever seen. Oh yeah, you can drive a truck through those scan lines. I ain't trying to be creepy or nothing, but I'd love to see what you look like in 480p.
But I'm mostly sure these are different aliens. There's crabby things, and this Ridley Scott alien-looking little bugger, and these little things, and these big things. These guys over here explode, and a special shout out to these little somersaulting shits. Best part, everything explodes when you kill it. No worrying about dead alien bodies hogging up memory on that aging PS1.
Well, I guess you just need to ask yourself one question, fella. Have you introduced enough ammunition into this being's epidermis to fully terminate all life signs? Well, good, then.
Your main weapon that you start just about every mission with is a 32 standard sidearm, a relatively weak and slow firing pistol that gets the job done in the early missions, but might as well be a finger gun by in the end. Every time you start a mission, they usually take most, if not all, of your weapons away, so you have to make do with it until you find new ones. Some of them, like this S4D atomizer, which is just fancy talk for a machine gun, actually feel great to shoot. Nice use of rumble, some good sound effects, good stuff. And others, like this Azorian pulse rifle, serve absolutely no purpose. It's just a slightly more powerful version of the pistol, but infinitely harder to use.
Look at this fucking, hey! We don't want you here. Go back to where you came from. Probably some scientist trash can or something. What are you looking at? Oh yeah, take your phone out and record me. Go ahead. What do I care? Go back to where you came from. Did you get that on camera? Good. Put it on Facebook. This won't bite me in the ass within 24 hours, I can assure you that.
For the most part, the weapons feel great, and they all
Mostly
serve a purpose. Noisy Cricket from the movie makes an appearance early in the game, and just like the movie, every time you fire it, you get launched back. I also love the names of these things, like the Awful Truth and the Ionic Tickler being two of my favorites. And then you have your usual array of classics like your chain guns, grenades, rocket launchers, and all that cool jazz to shoot alien scum with. There's no reloading here. If you want to fill up on ammo, you have to find a recharge station, and what form these stations take will usually change depending on what location you're in. They usually have a limited charge as well, meaning ammo isn't infinite, but appropriately plentiful. And naturally, the Neuralizer is here, but not in all its glory. They don't leave its use up to your discretion. It's usually just a mandatory mission objective to find someone and flash them while they stand there dumbfounded for a few seconds before running away. And then you neuralize them. It's a joke about showing your dick to strangers. Remember what I said earlier about starting strong with the funhouse? Well, things start going south after that. The next mission sees you in a dump trying to find a crashed spaceship, and while it eventually brings you inside the spaceship to spice things up, I couldn't help but feel disappointed that they weren't trying to one-up the great opening. And then it gets worse. Now you're in a subway, and then a hospital. What the hell happened? I know Men in Black movies don't offer up the most unique selection of locales to choose from, but this is based off the cartoon. Surely you can come up with, oh hell yeah, little guy in big world, I am a sucker for this. Everything should be shrunk down and put in stuff. So what, they had a tight budget that only allowed for a few cool areas and the rest had to be padded out with boring back alleys and subways? Well, whatever, I'll take Tiny Man in Big World where I can get it. Oh my god, a giant soda can, I can live in there! Oh my god, another giant soda can, I can get divorced and live in there!
Look, you could tell her she could have the can house. She ain't getting my giant penny!
And we're back to boring. Blech. Missions are usually bookended with some of the most PS1 era CGI cutscenes ever made. Just look at this. We used to think this was amazing. You know, the type, low resolution, blocky, and everyone moves like a stiff 95-year-old with the worst case of diarrhea the nursing home staff has ever seen. It's no Resident Evil 2, but I mean, what is? Definitely not Resident Evil 3, that's for sure. And top it off with some terrible voice acting, and you got yourself some grade A cheese, pal. As far as what you're actually doing through most of it, it's what you'd expect. Flipping switches, getting keys, opening doors, and fighting the odd boss here and there. It's an early 2000s shooter in every aspect, except it just controls exceptionally well. It's clearly taking great inspiration from Medal of Honor, both in its level design and mission structure, albeit simpler and more kid-friendly. It emulates it well. The further I got into the game, the more I both admired its simplicity and then kind of grew impatient with it. This isn't necessarily baby's first-person shooter, but it's clearly designed for kids. However, there's a big difference between being designed for kids in 2001 and being designed for kids today. It has the difficulty curve you'd expect from this generation, with later missions doing away with the easier enemies and peppering levels in with mostly the difficult ones. They don't always go easy on you here, especially with a few insta-fail spots that were infuriatingly ambiguous. Like this one mission which tasked me with snapping some photos of a secret meeting, but I kept failing over and over again for no discernible reason. Turns out, and this seems to be happening to me a lot lately, I just wasn't standing exactly where they wanted me to, so I kept getting spotted and failing. I had to stay crouched behind this specific box, and if a single pixel was showing, they'd spot me and I'd have to restart. There are no checkpoints. Fail an objective and it's back to the beginning. There are some tough missions, but for the most part, it's about as easy to learn and play as you were gonna get back then. It's a double-edged sword. I love simple. I'm a sucker for turning your brain off and walking down a hallway just shooting guys. I'll let you know when I turn mine back on, but at the same time, they could have taken a pretty good licensed game and made something truly exceptional with just a few more tweaks to the formula. Spice things up a bit. It's not a long game either, probably about 4 hours when all is said and done. It moves quickly and it flows pretty well from mission to mission. I love the way it looks and plays, and it absolutely does not feel rushed or cheap like many licensed games of the era, but it also feels held back somehow. Like somewhere's an awesome pitch and game design packet for this one that had to be cut and slashed when reality set in, and what we're left with is an above-average licensed game with just a few ideas and rough edges short of greatness. Also, I have no idea what this final boss is. I am convinced someone was high as fuck when they pitched this one, and the boss was somehow even higher when he greenlit it. What am I even shooting at? I have no idea. And that It was Men in Black Crashdown. Thank you, everybody. I'm almost at 500 subscribers, which is awesome. I try to punch above my weight with this channel. You know, I don't want it to feel like, how do I say this without being mean? There's a lot of shit on YouTube. And I don't want to be part of this shit. And I didn't expect even 50. So 500 is awesome. So thank you very much. Thank you for the kind comments. If you know anyone who would like my complete dumbass, send them my way. Tell them Fitherwinkle sent you. God, could you imagine a fucking stranger could...
Oi, Fitherwinkle sent me.
What was your reaction? The fuck did you just call me? Those idiots wouldn't know a good game if I punched them in the nards. Final Fantasy VII. Sounds like a pussy game for babies. I'll be here with my copy of Who are you?
There's no time for that. Is that a license game?
Yes.
Put it back on the shelf.
Yeah, but this one might... Okay, but you're not like... Can I just... This one... Pierce... Just... But...